This is my Baltimore and Ohio PA1 with powered B unit. It's the biggest, the heaviest, most powerful loco set I have. And this is the smallest, least powerful and lightest loco I've got. To be honest, a light breeze would probably knock it over. But what it lacks in performance, it makes up for in personality. Let's update it into the 21st century. Choo-choo! Hello YouTubes, welcome to another Fix It Friday. This tiny little loco might be small, but I've got a huge list of things I need to do to it. The good news is, actually it runs really good, so I don't need to do anything to the motor. So it's going to be mostly cosmetic. Starting at the front, I'll be installing a new headlight. I'm also considering adding a couple of ditch lights in those two holes there. They are actually supposed to be clips, but they're not working anymore. The clips at the back are still working. You can see the two holes are the same there. If I take this off, you can see little nubs there and there that locate in those holes. But as I say, they're just not there at the front, so I may as well take advantage of those little holes at the front and add a couple of ditch lights. On the top, I want to add a little flashing light. Now, I would like it to be orange, but I don't think I've got flashing orange lights. I've got white and I've got red. So I could possibly paint the white light orange to make that flash orange. At the back, I'm going to drill this out here and add a red light at the back. Inside, I want to add a cab light, but you'll also notice that I don't have any glass, so I don't have windows, so I am going to add windows all the way around, but I think I'll leave the door windows open. Eventually I'll be adding a little driver in there. Then I want to maybe paint this railing yellow, or at least some of it yellow, just to match the chevrons at the front. I want to add little yellow stripes on each step. So that's 1, 2, 3 there, same at the other side. I would love to paint the moulded in handrails at the side of the door, but they're so close to the body, I don't think I'll be able to do that. They're only sticking up about 1/10 of a millimetre. If I try painting them, I'm going to end up painting the door and that would look daft. So I think we'll just stick to the basics. Steps, guardrail. Also, at the back, this coupler, it's obviously broken. It's not so much the coupler's broken, it's where it attaches on the inside. There's no locating pin for the centre of the coupler. So obviously if I try and pull anything with this loco, it's just going to come out. So I need to fabricate something to stop that falling out. Annoyingly enough, the front one's just fine, but I can't just swap the whole thing around. I tried, it doesn't work. And finally on the inside, I need to add some weight, and I do have some weights. They're similar to those tyre weights. In fact, they probably are tyre weights, you know, to balance your wheel. But I think I could easily put one there, one there, one there, and one there. Just add a bit of weight, because there's absolutely nothing to this. It could almost float away. Not quite. So let us begin with LEDs. This is my giant box of LEDs. $8 at Value Village. So I am going to use one of these 3mm white LEDs for the front headlight. For the ditch lights, I am going to use these tiny little bulbs. These are so tiny, but they have to be small to fit in those little holes. I don't have light lenses to put in those holes, so I think we will just have to kind of stick them, not through the holes, but just the other side of those holes. So I need 2 of them. That's my headlight, ditch lights. What's next? We need the roof light, which is, these are the flashing ones, and look, I actually have yellow ones. I thought I had red and I had white, but no, I've got yellow, so that's perfect. I need a rear red light, again, just a little red light, non-flashing, which is this one here, 3mm again. Cab light, I think we'll go for, let's see, what colour for the cab? Everything else is going to be white at the front. Let's just go for a nice bright 5mm yellow cab light. I think that's everything we need. So cab light, roof light, flashing, front ditch lights, rear, yep. So that's all our LEDs. So that's 5 LEDs. Balance them out around about 2.5 volts. Each is 10, 11, 12, around about 12 volts. I'll be running approximately 16 volts if I use this on the DCC system. That's 16 volts. So I've got a spare roughly 4 volts. Divide that in half is 2 volts. Add a 0, 200. I know this sounds like I'm talking to myself, and I am, but I need roughly a 200 ohm resistor to not blow all the LEDs. So just to be on the safe side, let's choose the 270 ohm resistor, which is, if there is a 270, I don't know why I said 270. Oh my goodness, there is a 270, look. 270, so I'm going to use one of those resistors with all those LEDs. I will also require my soldering iron. I like to rant and rave about this soldering iron because it's digital. It's really good. I'll provide a link down below. It just it gives you a bit more control, and it does allow you to turn the temperature up quite a bit, which you need for soldering to rails, which your standard cheapy soldering iron, it doesn't get hot enough for rails. Also got my glue gun and some snips and some heat shrink tubing. Again, link in the description to all the bits and bobs. Right, let us begin. Step 1, as always, check your LEDs to make sure they work before you proceed any further. Oh, that's nice. A little yellow. It's actually quite orangey, which is ideal, because when that's on top of the roof there, that's going to be brilliant. Okay, that's my yellow / orange one. For the roof, this is the yellow one for the cab interior. Again, it's quite orange, which is fine. I think that would look nicer than yellow on the inside. Red rear light, which is red obviously. And my white headlight, which is also obviously white. Right, let's make sure these ditch lights work. These are so tiny. I just hope they're going to be bright enough. So I'm going to be using 2 of these. Goodness, they give you a lot of wire with these. I got these on AliExpress, I believe, so I had to wait quite a while for these ones to arrive. They are so small. Can you even see them? Let's make sure they work. They're colour coordinated, so that's red for positive, blue for negative, and that does indeed light up. That is not very bright, but you know what? I think it's bright enough. Okay, so that one works, and finally test the last one. Red positive, blue and negative, and that one also works. There we go, lovely. Now, I will be wiring all my LEDs in series, hence the reason I had to work out the resistor I required, 270 ohms roughly. Now that means that if I'm running this on DC, the lights are only going to come on in one direction. If I switch it to the other way, if you know about LEDs, they only work one way. It's a one-way diode thing. Unless I fit a bridge rectifier, I will be ordering some of them, but I don't have any for now. So at the moment, it will just run all the lights in forward. Although the lights will work on DCC in both directions. Not great for the motor, but that's an option. Okay, let's finally get started. Should probably plan this out. So let's see, we are going to have our ditch lights, headlight, roof light, that's to signify flashing. Cab light, that's to signify it's bigger. And rear light, red. So that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm missing one. Red light, cab light. Red light, cab light, roof light, headlight, ditch lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? Cab light, roof light, 2 ditch lights, headlight, rear light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Duh. Right, so that's all my, excuse me. So that's all my lights. So, let's see now, the power. Have a look in here. We're going to take the power from, bearing in mind it's a positive negative thing, generally the inside of the headlight there is the positive. So that will be this wire here. And then the negative we will take from this wire here. Yeah, we're going to be ditching this. However, I've noticed that the inside here, sorry, the headlight here is not only just attached with the wires, but it creates the circuit. If you notice that little pickup there, that kind of gets shoved in there and creates a circuit for the whole thing. So I think what I'll probably need to do is basically solder on a little blob there for my, let's see, that will be the negative pickup is there. It's a little bit confusing, this thing, but it also means that if I hardwire that, then everything should actually run a bit smoother. Okay, let me just get that in my head before I get started. I don't want to mess things up. I might even put a red mark on whatever one of these is the positive. Yeah. Okay, this one here. So the right, sorry, the left, because that's forward. That no, I'm talking rubbish. That's forward. That was my rule. Forward is always left. So forward then, this wire here is the positive. Okay, I'll just put a wee red mark there. Now we know. So that means I can actually just get rid of these wires, because all these wires are doing is connecting the light, but I will need to add a wire from this pickup down here going round to the negative, which is here. So I just need to run a wire from there around to there to create the circuit. I will of course do that first and then check it on the track and make sure it still works. So let's not waste wire. All I have to do is cut this one here. I can take it off of there completely, don't need that. And I'm going to join that to there. So snip this, strip this. Let's get rid of this, it's probably dazzling you, that's better. Add a wee bit of flux there. A wee bit of flux on that pickup, or whatever that is. Add a bit of solder to this. Did I flux that? I can't remember. Better safe than sorry. Don't want to be underfluxed. Lovely. And hopefully I can just solder that onto there and we should be good. Let me get my helping hand. Somehow. Yeah, that'll help. Put a wee bit of solder on there, clean it up as well. It's quite close to that gear. I don't want it to be too hot around there. Solder that in place. Right, let's quickly try this on the track, make sure it still works. I've not broken it. Oh, so much easier to get a four-wheeler on the track. Right, let's see, forward direction. Oh, lovely. You see what I mean though? It's for such a tiny, basic little loco, it runs really nice. Look at that. And it's quiet. That crackly noise is just the track, don't worry. And we'll bring it back, because I can't reach that far. Excellent. Okay, back to the bench. You know, I think it would make sense to try and install these weights before I do the wiring, because then I might end up having to fight my way through wiring to put the weights on. It also means that I get a better idea of where the wiring needs to be routed. I'm sure these weights are all different weights, obviously, different different weights of weights, but I don't really think it matters. I'm just going to choose 4 at random and put them in each corner of the loco. Pretty cool, they've all got little sticky pads, so hopefully I won't need to use the glue gun for this bit. Right, let's begin with these 4. So I think I might be able to just put them in each corner, one there, and the same at the back. I'll give that a shot. That's not going to work, it's too tall. I'm glad I tested that. So I think, alternatively, I could put it flat down there. Oh, if I can squeeze it in. Just in there. Oh, now it's a bit wide. Oh, this is frustrating. The reason it is too tall is because of this ridge. So I think I'll just, if I can just snip that little ridge out a bit. Let's try that. Meanwhile, I'm losing the stickiness from my weight. Right, let's see if it'll fit in now. Now I'm trying to break the front coupler. Right, let's see if that works. That coupler's upside down. Oh, that's the back one. So it doesn't really matter because it's broken anyway. Right, let's see. That's better. See how it's gone down now? So I'll do that with the other side, snip that little ridge out. There isn't a ridge at the back, but there is those little things sticking up, and I don't think the weight's going to go in there. No, it's not. Oh, it goes in at a sort of angle, so that might be okay. Right, I'll see when I've got all them in place. Lovely. Right. LED time. I am going to be attaching all the LEDs to the shell, and I'm going to be using a couple of these little connectors. So I will snip these in half. One will be going to the positive, one will be going to the negative. And then all I have to do when I want to work on the loco is unclip these connectors and remove the whole shell, and all I'll have left is one there and one there. Like so. I could have actually cut this wire a little bit shorter. I might just tape it onto there. This is just the one coming from the positive pickup. Might get in the way of the wheels. We'll see. Leave it for now. I don't like it too short for now. Okay, let's move on to the shell itself. So we know that the positive is going to start here and it's going to go all the way around the shell and then come back, and the negative is going to go there. So the starting point will be this point here, and I'm just going to mark that with a little red dot so I know where I'm starting with. Like so. Okay. Let's drill a couple of holes. One in the roof for the orange flashing light, and one out there. This is going to be a wee bit tricky because it's already raised, but I would like it right in there. Right, so the orange one, or yellow one apparently, is that size. Need to find a drill bit, and it's going to stick out a fair bit, but that's okay. I want it to be seen. Let's choose the right drill bit. Let's see now. I think that one looks about right. Using my gigantic drill. Don't worry, it's quite precise. Oh, I'll tell you what I'll do first. I'm going to drill a tiny little pilot hole just so that this doesn't go like all over the roof and make a huge mess. I've got this little drill bit that I'll use first. Okay, let's see now. Where do we want this? I think to ease the wiring situation, we'll maybe put it near the front, and then it will come out just there. Yep, let's try that. Right there. Almost the middle. Bigger drill bit. Wow, that looks like a huge hole. Hopefully it's not too huge. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, and it's not sticking out too much. That's ideal. So I will be using the hot glue gun to hold that in place when the time comes. Just need to clean out all the shrapnel in there. Lovely. Need a hole at the back, which is the red one. I think it's the same size. So as before, use a small drill bit first. This is going to be tricky, as I say, because the area I want to drill is raised just there, because I think that's supposed to simulate a bulb or a light. This is near impossible, but I'll give it a shot. Oh, nope, that's not going to work. So I think what I need to do is just try and flatten that little nub just a tiny wee bit so that I've got somewhere for the drill to locate. Let's see if that's enough. Don't try this at home, kids. Oh, I might have fluked this one. Wow, can't believe that worked. Right, bigger drill bit. Okay, again, another gigantic hole. And it should be just right for that bulb to slip in. Problem with drilling plastic, it generally kind of melts and leaves a bit of a mess. Right, red bulb, please just fit in there. Excellent, that looks good too. So that will also go in with a bit of hot glue. Lovely. So I think what I'll do before I glue them in, I'm going to wire them all together, because if I was to try and solder the wires all connected while it's in there, it's a wee bit fiddly. So what is next then? Let's make some windows using this. I think it's actually packaging from something, you know, like the window from some packaging. Makes a great sound. So let's cut out some shapes and stick them in the inside of the window openings. Let's start with the front. There is one slight issue I've noticed. Hold on, I've still got plastic shrapnel from that hole. Yeah, when I look inside here, the top of the window is not the same level as the bottom of the window, which is kind of annoying because the bottom is kind of more that way. I don't care, it's not a show winner, it never will be. So I'm just going to cut out a couple of little window shapes. I wonder if I could do it in one. Yeah, let's try to do it in one sort of rectangular strip. Once I clean that hole, for goodness sake. Right, now we can do it. So it's approximately that size. By approximately that size. I feel that's not wide enough. Nope, it's not. Wow, quite a bit short. Let's try again. Make it too big this time, so I can always cut it down. Yep, a little bit too big, which is fine. Trim it down. Trim it down again. One more. Okay, that's better. So I could just glue that on there, and now I'm going to have to trim a little bit around the bottom. Let's go with that much. And it is slightly curved, so I'll do that. That sort of shape. Oh, you can see better there. That should go in there quite nicely. And I can glue that in place. Yeah, that's fine. Right, super glue. Oh, I've got my special brushed super glue thing, which makes life a bit easier. Try not to overdo this. Oh, immediately overdoes it. Well, that's way too much glue. Oh well. Right, let's get this in. That side. Curvy side down or up. It should be fine. Not looking to win any prizes. Okay, let's cut out some squares for the sides. Oh, here's one I made earlier. Oh, unfortunately, it's not big enough to do two. Yep, that'll be fine there. Try and be a bit less generous with the glue this time. I found that you've got to put these back in and shut the lid as soon as possible, because that super glue dries out, or not dries out, it goes gloopy really quickly. One side window in. Two windows in, and we have a problem. It looks like the glue has reacted to the plastic and made it all cloudy on one side. That's annoying, but I don't think I can... Oh wait, I might be able to clean it off if I'm quick before it completely dries. Whatever, it'll do. Kind of disappointed in that. Need to be more careful in future. I don't really want to take it out again because stuff it, it'll do. It'll do. Right, and we'll make a section for the back window. Right, we have windows. I did have to cut out a little notch at the top of the one, plus it's kind of curved at the top, so I had to trim that round and obviously cut out a notch for the bulb. So hopefully the bulb will still go on, or in. Like so. So while the glue is drying and looking terrible because the glue's reacted, but I don't care anymore, I do have a slight problem I've just realised with the LEDs, or at least with the flashing LED. It occurred to me that the little flashing LED for the roof might not actually work in series with all the other LEDs just by the physics going on inside that little blinker bulb. And sure enough, when I hooked it up even to one other bulb, nothing worked. Not even the constantly on bulb. So then I tried different resistors. It just wasn't working with the other bulbs. I then tried it on DCC on the track with a resistor, and it didn't work. The only way I can get the flasher to work by itself is hooking up a 1500 ohm resistor, and even then it doesn't start flashing until about not exactly a quarter power, but it's only going to work on DC on the track when the loco's going at a reasonable speed, which is a bit annoying. I would need to get like capacitors, resistors and all that kind of stuff. There's just not enough room in there to add all that gubbins. So it is what it is. I'll need to wire this flashing LED separately with its own resistor straight to the power, and then wire the rest up. I just need to recalculate the resistor I need for the remainder of the bulbs. Anyway, that was a lot of waffle. Let's get back to work. So let's get a resistor soldered onto this bulb, and then put a little wire. Why are you flickering? Stop flickering light, goodness sake. I'm in nothing but trouble with LEDs today. I'm going to bend this into shape because this has got to go into its little hole, and then I'm going to bring it forward. Otherwise it's just going to be full of wires in the cabin. Okay, so this is a positive on this side. I can trim it down a little bit. Trim down the resistor a little bit. I think what I'll probably do, once I solder this together, I'll put a bit of heat shrink over the top. No harm. Resistor on. Let's get a bit of heat shrink tubing. Snip that down a bit. Attach our wire. I could have used the same heat shrink tubing, I guess, but it's pretty wide and it doesn't really work well with such fine wire. I'd rather use much finer heat shrink. Like this, for example. Okay. We can attach our black wire now. Let's snip that down a bit. A little bit of heat shrink in there. There's a little flashing light sorted. I'll just check that on the track before I go any further. Back in a sec. Okay, that seems to be working. But I did hook it up to these on the loco and it was doing something weird, but you know what? Let's move on. It's not the end of the world if I don't have a flashing light in the top, I suppose. Right, what's next? I need to somehow get these ditch lights attached. This is going to be really fiddly, so bear with me. In fact, I might just fast forward this. Basically, I'm going to be gluing the ditch lights to those little holes there and there, joining them together, running the wire round, up and along. Let's see now. Wire will be going to the headlight bulb and then a ditch light, and then back to the rear light somehow with glue and hopes and prayers. See you when it's done. Hiding wires in a loco is an art that I have not yet mastered. It's not bad, but don't look at the roof. Nah, it's not too bad. Okay, there's only a few things I can do left. I cannot do the coupler just now at the back because I just don't have the parts. There is a trade show on Sunday though, so I'll get the parts for the coupler. But I can add a little bit of paint, yellow paint on the steps and the rail. I'm going to try using this Sharpie paint pen. I actually got the yellow one to do road markings and I gave it a little shot and it was pretty good. So hopefully the tip is fine enough just to paint on these stairs here. I suppose I have to make it flow. Suppose I don't want it too bright, and I can go over it a couple of times if it's not bright enough. I think that's quite nice actually. That's all I wanted. Don't know why that side was brighter. Let's try this side again. Just took a minute for the paint to start flowing. Yes, I like that. I think I rubbed it off there when I was holding it the other side. And let's see if we can do the railing while we're here. Let's see. Will I do just the uprights, or let's see what it's like with possibly just the uprights actually. I like the contrast. Right, I'm going to ruin it now by adding little chevrons along the top. I actually quite like that. Now, do I feel brave enough to try doing these rails, these handrails? Yes, I do. Why not? I held my breath for that entire thing, but I think that turned out quite nice. I think I'll stop there. Quite well I'm ahead and all that. I think that looks pretty nice now. Just adds a little bit of je ne sais, I don't know what. Hope it works. Let's find out. To the track. Fingers crossed. In the forward position. Yeah, it looks great, doesn't it? Oh, we don't have any lights. What's going on? Let's try backwards. What? Let's give it a bit more power. Oh, there they are. Right, as expected, it's not going to work in reverse because of LEDs. But it looks like I need to give it a fair bit of power before the lights will come on, which is kind of annoying, but I used the lowest resistor I could. If I go any lower with the resistor, the lights will just pop. Let's see how slow we can go. Right, that's the slowest we can go with the power to have the lights on. Nice, you can see the cab light as well, just. But as you can see, the flashing light is not working. I really wasn't expecting that too, because I'll need to get a bridge rectifier and capacitor and rectifier and other fires. But that's not bad. But as you can see, it goes really nice. Until it stops. Needs a wee bit more power than that. Overall, I think it looks quite nice. Little bit of paint, it's got windows, it's got lights. Doesn't have a flashing light at the moment, but I'm happy with that. I will of course do the victory lap, and once I've done that, I'm going to try it on DCC. Hopefully it won't pop the lights, but I know that if I run it in DCC, the lights will come on bright straight away without any speed. So I'll give that a shot. And if that works, great. If it doesn't, then I'll have to redo it because I'll have blown all the lights. Thanks for watching. I'll see you after Sunday's train show. Hopefully I'll get another haul of garbage. I mean treasure. Take care. Bye for now.